It's difficult to quantify how much time goes into writing an hour, because it's really just like 4 years of living your life. On the one hand, it feels like you didn't spend any time on it, and then on the other hand, you spent every moment on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day of work over 4 years leads to a brand new 1 hour special. Not counting the shows, you also have to do a lot of shows. One of my favorite things about comedy is writing fun ideas and then trying them out in front of an audience. It's a nice little moment where the audience relates to you, you relate to the audience. Like, oh wow, I had this thought, and actually this room full of people who I've never met before seem to enjoy it. Almost as excited as my first tournament, freshman golf, Davidson. Shot a 71-74 plus one for the week.
How do you think that's going to compare to tonight?
You know, if I can shoot one over through, wow, this is interesting. If I can shoot one over par through 36 holes, finish top 25, that's a win. Some people say you got to win to win. I say top 25 wins. Hopefully you caught Eric's after that.
Oh, I did.
You got J Money for a sold out show tonight. You got it? J Money.
I jokingly told him to call me that. I love that he actually said Jay-Z Money. I was like, just say, you know, we got Jay-Z Money in the house. He was like, all right, I guess he took it literally. All right. I'm not sure how the special came about exactly. So far I've done some albums, I've done a half-hour special, I've done some late shows, but I've never done a fully produced, made-for-film, high-quality 1 hour special. It was super chill and fun to have Nate direct it. It was fun to see him have the headset on, looking at the different camera angles. It was cool to see. It was cool to see him in the director's hat, figuratively and literally. I think his director's hat is a golf hat.
Yeah, you know what, in that corner, yeah, the stool placement's good, and that's a perfect spot for that mic stand because it's in the dark.
I know he's done a special with Mike Vecchione, who I love, a special with Greg Warren, whose comedy I love. So I was pumped to do one with him. We filmed it in Asheville at the Gray Eagle. Both shows were sold out. We're getting the looks, we're getting the light. Anthony, how does it sound back there?
It sounds really good.
All right, cool. And yeah, just let Nate check it on the screen. Yeah.
What if you go back to that other side? Is there like a angle?
Maybe we could throw a little bit of light onto the.
Yeah, we may have something else we can throw up there.
Yeah. Let me see what that.
On the road or on the road when I move it to the side?
Do you use it at all?
Every now and then I'll bring it back to the middle, like 2 or 3 times.
You go to the corner, back corner.
Oh yeah.
You go to the corner, so you put it on the mic. You gotta go that corner. You can throw it up there. Right on the road.
All right.
Thank y'all very much for coming out to this. I gotta put this exactly. They said there was tape. Oh, I see the tape. Hold on. I don't know if I see the tape. You're supposed to put it. It's pretty. Do you see it? Oh, it goes way back here. Wow. Guys, I'm just the director. And Joe's in good hands. He's already starting. Like, I want Joe to get done, and we're just like, I didn't start the cameras, but it felt good.
So Nate, when he talks about doing comedy starting out, he kind of talks about how he was just kind of a guy in high school, and then he didn't go to college, and he just kind of didn't really have a direction. I went to college. It was a liberal arts school, great school, Davidson College. Steph Curry went there. Me and him are basically teammates, more or less. Even though I went to college, I still didn't have a direction. I didn't do comedy at all. I just knew I wanted to do something kind of creative. I liked writing. My friends told me I was funny. In fact, my senior year at a fraternity party, this guy, I wish I knew who it was, but he was very frat bro-y. I didn't even know he knew who I was. Came up to me and was like, dude, you're the reason I wake up for British romanticism at 8 a.m. I remember not being able to keep up with the reading, and I remember participation grade was huge, so I remember I would just try to chime in something to get that participation grade up. Anyway, apparently I was crushing it in British romanticism on the comments. After college, I didn't have a career plan, and I just wanted to just give it a shot. Nate says he kind of wandered into comedy. I was like, all right, I'm out of college. I have to have a career now. My career is going to be comedy. And I said that having never done comedy, probably having only seen stand-up comedy a handful of times. I mean, it's insane. It would be like I'm gonna be a professional guitar player having heard like 4 songs. It made no sense, but I was like, this is my career track now. I went and did open mics around North Carolina. I took it very seriously. I took comedy very seriously my first year, which I would not recommend. I would recommend enjoying it and having fun. But you learn very quickly doing open mics. It is challenging, and there's not really a career path. It's more like you have to just make your own little path, whatever that is. And for a lot of people that are very talented, that is never accruing any income at all. Very talented, funny people continue to do it for fun and have day jobs. And that's pretty normal. It's actually crazy that people make a living doing it.
Please welcome to the stage, Joe Zimmerman.
Thank you, Asheville. Best crowds in the world right here in Asheville, North Carolina. And I say that everywhere I go. And just in Atlanta, I was like, best crowds in the world, Asheville, North Carolina. A lot of times people will see my act and they'll be like, that was so funny. I mean, everybody says that, right? It's so funny. No, but people say that. And then they'll be like, was that true? That's like a very common question. Was that true? To me, it's a resounding and an obvious yes, it is true, because I wouldn't enjoy making up lies. That wouldn't be fulfilling or rewarding for me. So everything I say is true, and most of my comedy is things that have happened to me or things that I've observed that are bothering me or interesting to me, like cult documentaries, owl murders, Bikram hot yoga. I know I'm susceptible to cults because of the one time I went to Bikram hot yoga. After 10 minutes, I already finished my little coconut water and I'm dizzy. I didn't realize how hot it got. I'm like, I'll just step outside. And as I get to the door, the instructor goes, hey, where are you going? And I'm so shocked to be called out in yoga that I was honest. I said, I'm going outside because I'm hot. He goes, I need you to stay here where I can see you so that I know you're okay. Okay, but I'm not okay. That's why I was leaving. Some of the material was like from 2 or 3 years ago where I started to write it and build it. I wanted to put some fresh stuff on the hour just to make it feel really fresh and new. And so right down to the finish line, I was working on my jokes about gummies and my early bedtime obsession. I really started messing around with early bedtime, and that is addictive. Start cozying up at 10, you're like, where's this been? 10 is the gateway to 9:30. Next thing I know, I'm curling up at 8:45. 8 p.m. is the overdose of early bedtime. That's when you've gone too far. You wake up 3 refreshed. Walk the streets in the night with the other addicts and criminals. It seemed to fit well, and it was fun to have it come together at the last moment, kind of like when you're in college and you have a big final exam due and you wake up and you're actually ready for it, which is very rare. That's kind of what it felt like, which was a good feeling. I know Nate wouldn't relate to that because he didn't go to college.
How was show 1?
Show 1 was delightful. Classic early crowd. Old people. Show 2 is going to be like a bunch of Gen Z people ready to party. Late show, dude. When people come to the late show, for me, they know they're getting a party. They know they're getting a 9:30 start. Here's what the toughest thing is about comedy. It is hecklers, no, not that big of a problem, honestly. I've had a couple bad ones, and they were just people that were easy to get laughs out of because everybody could see that they were insane. It's not tough crowds or bombing. Here's the hardest thing about comedy, figuring out what to do with your life from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You have 10 free hours during the day when everybody else is at a job. 10 hours. It's not as great as it sounds. Sometimes it's pretty great, but you gotta format your days. And for me, it's a lot of coffee shops. Sometimes when you do a show, people are so excited afterwards that they hoist you up on their shoulders and they carry you around town, but wanting to buy you drinks and tell you stories, and you get a little bit worn down from all the jostling and the free food and free drink and friendship. And you gotta figure out how to balance all that love. I guess there's nothing hard about comedy. I guess the answer is everything about comedy is easy and you should all do it. In fact, a lot of y'all are doing it. Like, I've seen TikTok, and I think about 90% of Gen Z is interested in and or doing comedy at this point. So I'm doing it. I don't see why you can't do it. If this special flops and I have to get a real job, I'm going to apply for an MFA in creative writing and become a professor at some small school in some remote town and fulfill my destiny. My parents were professors. My grandparents were professors. My great-grandparents were car salesmen, and one played an organ. So let's not go that far back. I might be a little old to be basically, it's too late for me to do anything else. Like, if I fail with this special, then I just fail. There's not like time for a second option. So if this special blows up and I become the most famous comedian on the planet, I'll do arenas, I'll do stadiums. I'll be like, y'all never believed in me. Y'all haters never believed in me. But look at me now, I told you. And it would be a lot of just rubbing it in my haters' faces. I don't know who my haters are. I've kind of lost track of who my haters are. But yeah, I would definitely take it to the haters to the best of my ability. So I'm excited about that. I would love to find out who that fraternity brother was who complimented me senior year. I would let him know, he sparked it. He sparked the biggest comedian on the planet. Brother, this journey was because of you. Let's get back on that British romanticism horse. Let's read some Don Juan. Let's read some, I only remember Don Juan. I'll start with that little compliment, which is a lesson to everybody out there. If you're feeling a nice, genuine compliment that's not just physical features, just say it. Maybe you just fueled their destiny.